Legal and lawful, judicial and clerical notice. Now you can put this directly into your court cases as is. Put your phone number and email on it. Obviously, I don't want to disseminate that to everybody. It's an old address, so don't bother. But this you should not use early. You should wait until after a judge gives you 3 orders of a judge and not of a court. Now, you should read Carper versus Fitzgerald and the Judiciary Act to understand that thoroughly. Meanwhile, down to business. Point 1. This document is to be entered into the court record and the public record and the private record immediately, and then entered into evidence at the earliest possible opportunity. Judges can either act administratively or judicially. It is a maxim of law. It matters not what is known to the judge if it is not known to him judicially. 3 Buls 115. And that's the Latin translation. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to give you some very important information along with this. 2. I hereby put all people and persons on legal and lawful notice that I hereby void and terminate all past and present powers of attorney. According to Corpus Juris Secundum Chapter 7, Attorney and Client Section 76, the attorney's duty to the court is superior to the attorney's duty to a client, since the private duty must yield to the public duty. Attorneys must maintain and conduct themselves in ways that do not impede the work of the courts. With that in mind, I will hold court in persona propria sui juris, and I let all involved in this controversy know that I do not consent to these proceedings. Obviously, commentary here. If you're in a civil lawsuit, you do consent to the proceedings, so get rid of that after persona propria sui juris. 3. Disclaimer. I have knowledge of copyright laws and have observed the copyright symbols contained within what appears to be all books, codes, references, reporters, and the like dealing with law, and such a symbol's use and employment in providing notice that the contents therein are the private property of the copyright owner, and I freely admit that I have neither grant, franchise, license, nor letter patent to use said contents, nor practice the same. Please be advised that all cites thereto and excerpts therefrom are utilized and employed herein merely for educational and communicational purposes, to display from where my present understanding inheres from, and due to the depth of the matter with which this controversy attempts to cover. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news, reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe on copyright under Title 17, United States Code Annotated, inclusive. The comment on this, the material you use is copywritten, so you have to acknowledge that. Otherwise, they can put you in jail for up to 6 months and fine you up to $250,000 per violation. Let's see how many we get in this next one. 4. Any claim of immunity which government agents could possibly make is a fraud. Because if valid, it would prevent removal from office for crimes against the people, which is which removal is authorized or even mandated under the United States Constitution et al., Article 2, Section 4, as well as 18 U.S.C. 241 and 18 U.S.C. 242 and 42 U.S.C. 1983 and 42 U.S.C. 1985 and 42 U.S.C. 1986. And the Florida Constitution et al., Section 2, General Provisions, Article 17, Impeachment. Now that's actually where it is in Florida. You would have to go and take your state's name, your state's constitution, and look up impeachment. I've seen some states with 5 sections because they give you instructions how to impeach judges, lawyers, clerk, court personnel, police, and general. So make sure you cite all of those there. 5. Due to this truth, the Uniform Commercial Code 3-402, signature by representative, is in violation of federal laws, state and federal constitutions, and therefore void and a nullity. You no longer have plausible deniability. You have been noticed. 6. If at any time in the past I inadvertently waive my rights or lessen my status through contract, forgive me. No man or woman would knowingly and intelligently with forethought waive his or her rights. Such agreement would be an unconscionable contract or clause and in violation of the Uniform Commercial Code 2-302. Upon that truth, I hereby expressly reserve my rights in accordance with the Uniform Commercial Code 1-308, express reservation of rights. The first part is in case you did something previously to waive your rights. You have the opportunity to void that and proceed from here. 7. This is a self-executing contract. Notice to the principal is notice to the agent. Notice to the agent is notice to the principal. You are hereby bound to inform all of your colleagues, superiors, and subordinates involved in this matter and which may have future interactions with my person or me. If there is something you do not understand clearly, it is incumbent upon you to summon the superior officer, special prosecutor, federal judge, or other competent legal counsel to immediately explain the significance of this instrument as per your duties and obligations in respect to this public formal instrument. 8. You have 3 days from receipt of this affidavit. You would change whatever paperwork it is, but we will go with affidavit, to respond on a point-by-point basis via sworn affidavit under full commercial liability, signing under penalty of perjury that the facts contained therein are true, correct, complete, and not misleading. Mere declarations are an insufficient response and a complete nullity. If an extension of time is needed to properly answer, please request such in writing. Failure to respond will be deemed nil dicet tacit acquiescence and constitutes agreements with the facts stated within this affidavit and is an acceptance of liability. I'm a non-combatant and a man of peace. Now, important information. You should be able to cut and paste the text on YouTube so you don't have to worry about any possible errors of transcription and can get it exactly as it is written. Thank you. Stay tuned for part 2.